What is up, monsters? Real Monsters here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're hopping into something a little different. It's a horror novel. So it's basically just gonna be a whole bunch of me reading with the horror elements behind it, but it's still a choose your own adventure type of game. So we're going to be making choices and seeing if we could figure out what's going on, the mysteries behind the Innsmouth case, which is the name of the game. So I'm pretty excited. I think this is new. I like the choose your own adventures. I love games where, it feels like your choices matter. This one very much so, even, flat out said. So we'll see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see. It looks super cool. And I'm pretty excited to start. So let's just go. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. Yeah, fuck it. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Oh yeah, since the early afternoon you've been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now nothing stands in your way. Oh. Who is it? The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses, then, in a breathy and melodic tune, you hear a woman utter, "Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. Shit. Fuck it. Just invite her in. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50. Hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress, culminating in a decolleté? Whatever. That seems to defy the laws of gravity. I don't know what that is. I don't really know fashion that well. A smoky eyeshadow as dark as algae washed ashore. Blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned in her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convinced their wives have something going with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Determined. She's a little bold. She's a little bold without asking you first, but as a professional, you're not giving anything away. She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that the stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir cliches. A far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose and revealing clothes can win you over. And both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard-working day as a lingerie model. And and therefore you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Delilah Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you are one of the best. She extends her hands. You've come to the right place, lady. What can I do for you? You sit back in your chair and fold your hands over your stomach. The woman seems a little irritated that her provocative behavior seems to have had no effect on you. She moves from the edge of the desk and sits down on the chair opposite you. Yes, She clears her throat. As she continues to speak, the smoky seductiveness creeps back into her voice. My name is Delilah. I need help. It's about my daughter, Tabitha. She has disappeared. You're pulling out paper and pencil. This is going to be a walk in a park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. Well, when did you last see her and where? The woman puts on a fake smile. We live in Innsmouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham. You frown. This is a bit vague. What is your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, kid stuff. They just run around and, play with their yo-yos, that sort of thing. Delilah nervously combs her hands through her hair. Yo-yos? Well, all these are actually pretty good questions. Well, minus this one. This one's just kind of like being a cocky asshole back to her, which is still hilarious. Does your daughter have any friends? Good question. What about her father? Another good question. What does your daughter look like? Obviously, that's important. So we'll say, what about her father? What about Tabitha's father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. Dahlia. Did I say her name Delilah before? I hope not. Dahlia smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. Your pen remains on the same spot in the notepad. What was that supposed to mean? Wow, I almost said it again. Dahlia is about to continue. Excuse me, but you're struggling to find the right words to respond to such a cryptic statement. What the hell do you mean by that? The kid can't swim enough. Dahlia turns up her nose. She doesn't seem comfortable with you asking personal questions. Still, she responds. Oh, just an old saying in our village. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Dahlia turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamily, no, longingly out of the window. Her father was a fisherman, like most of the village. A few years ago, he went out to sea but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, somehow, I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband's in a better place now, and at some point, I'll join him. You take a closer look at Dahlia's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you would never have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. Well... So more about the... Oh, man. This is tough. Both of these are very... Well, oh, man. Yeah, she doesn't look like a fisherman's wife. Especially the way that they described her, so... I think she's lying, but at the same... Oh, man. Yeah, let's go. Forgive me for asking, but... What do you do for a living? Dahlia's jaws tenses. I work in Innsmouth tourism department. Why do you ask? For a widowed single mom, For a fisherman's widow and single mom, you're surprisingly well dressed. Either the tourism industry is more lucrative than I thought, or your husband was quite well insured. You take a theatrical break. Or is there another explanation? Dahlia smiles uncertainly. My family is wealthy. Old money and some kind of local nobility. I don't understand what that question has to do with my missing daughter. There's a combative glint in her eyes. Dirty money. It's none of my business where you get your money from. But if the source is rather unorthodox, it could be related to your daughter's disappearance. You peer over your desk and take her in a little better. Sorry, for some reason I wasn't reading that correctly in my head. Your face is serious and impenetrable, but inside your head, your inner Humphrey Bogart nerd feels incredibly cool. Dahlia's smile remains unchanged, but one of her eyelids has started twitching. Nervousness, perhaps? Or do your questions make her angry? No, I have nothing to do with any illegal business. You lean back. Dahlia nervously combs through her hairs. Okay. I'm glad that it brings you back to the questions page. Does your daughter have any friends she might be staying with? Classmates? Sports clubs? Members? Anything like that? Dahlia silently shakes her head. Very strange. You're about to ask if a girl at least had imaginary friends, but you hold back. Yo-yos? Hold on, yo-yos? Ring ring, can you hear that? It's the 90s calling and they want their outdated toys back. Dahlia blushes. Normally you find this quite attractive, but the case of a missing girl beckons, and you utterly unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. She remains silent. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became a private investigator. Or, to be more precise, that's why you took an online detective course. And for free. And for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualification. It's time to take your visitor to task. You look at her closely. Why did you get out of your chair? Innsmouth is several miles away from here. Why did you want to hire me? I wouldn't even hire myself. Dahlia crosses her arms. What do you care? Do you want to be paid or not? Right now, I just want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Alright, you're sticking to your principles. It's exactly what your instructor warned you about. Still, it feels good. Dahlia takes a step back and releases her tightly crossed arms. I already tried those of the other investigators. Anyone who seemed trustworthy, really. But no luck. That's why I'm coming to you. Ouch. Okay. She's only 8 and the sweetest girl you can imagine. Sorry, I did a pause there. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her schoolmates have seen her, and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. Look, this is my little munchkin. Oh, God. Good heavens. Is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? A bit of stomach acid and the last bite of lunch slowly but surely make their way up into the back of your mouth. You throw up in the jar of your desk. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. Spot. With narrow eyes, you swallow the bile and involuntarily pull a face. Dahlia continues to look at you hopefully. She obviously didn't notice your little mishap. That was close. It could have been unpleasant. Alright. I'm so desperate. Her eyes lock with yours. Taking your life into your own hands, you ask the mother, don't you think there's something a little, bit strange about your daughter? It's called puberty, Dahlia snarls. You should try it sometime. Also, this has nothing to do with the case. She looks at you contemptuously. Persist? Leave the evaluation to a professional. Your child's facial skin is more scary than that of those poor souls you sometimes see on afternoon walks. Besides, she doesn't seem to have a nose. It's a rare genetic defect. I have no further questions. You mumble more to yourself than to her. Dahlia stretches her neck imperceptibly. No doubt, she would like to take a look at your notebook. Your pen hovers over the notes you've taken. Missing daughter, dodged lady. That's it. You've worked with less. Are you going to take the case or no? Honestly, I'll be totally honest, it seems like she's just lying out her ass. If the kid is missing, then my thing is, why did everybody else turn it down? If she said she went to all these other people, why did everybody else turn it down? You know, they clearly turned it down for something. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm gonna reject it as well. I'm sorry, lady, but it's not for me. Even though your bank account balance is critical, you can't bring yourself to take this case. You know that accepting it would be a mistake, without knowing exactly why. Dahlia seems so annoyed by now that she accepts your rejection without grumbling. She struts wordlessly out of your office. Ain't your life. Nearly time to go home. Finally, you're stretched out on your couch. A black and white mystery series flickers on your TV. Your blood alcohol level has reached that pleasant point beyond no longer able to drive, but still well enough, or well before everything that went in has to come out again. Next episode? The TV asked rhetorically. Netflix. Sure, go ahead, next episode. To serve men. You sigh. If only the supernatural would knock at your door. You sure as hell wouldn't miss the opportunity. Okay, so you reject the mission. I mean, in all honesty, it's like she wasn't giving the right information. If ultimately, one, her daughter was legit missing, and she was literally worried, anyone else that she would have gone to most likely would have taken the case. And two, she would have had better answers. And for what she was giving me answer-wise, didn't match what she was and what she was doing. She wouldn't have come in and tried to sultry, seductively, get me to do a case. No, that's not how this works. I'm sorry. Oh, I was supposed to take the case. Oh, wow. Okay, I was literally supposed to take the case. That's the whole point of the game? Oh, shit. I thought it was like multiple cases. Oh, shit, man. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Alright. You nod. A missing persons case? Nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be pretty straightforward. Before you could say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk for your expenses. You nod slowly, trying not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few new items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination, the best fish, untouched beach promenade, authentic fishing people, are the recurring buzzwords. Dahlia has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. You take another long look before you pack your things. By hitching? Well, if they have a bus that goes there, why would I hitch? They have a bus that goes there once a day. Why would I hitch there? Alright, well. Your journey begins at a busy bus station. There's supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to Innsmouth. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only an environmentally friendly means of transportation, they're also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't much of a help. In New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no trace of Innsmouth as a destination. You wander around for a bit until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of one of the vending machines. You look around, talk to the cleaner. Excuse me, where can I find the bus to Inns? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned corner, the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable of. The man gives you a nod, indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find the counters elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparations, but at least someone's made an effort. At that moment, nobody seems to be there. You press your face against the plastic window to peer into the room. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? I have to go to Innsmouth. No one there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? Yeah, I'll leave a donation. You're a staunch defender of the law. It goes without saying that you pay. You put a few coins in the bowl underneath the foggy glass window. Hopefully they won't get stolen by the next passenger. Even if someone were sitting behind the counter, you wouldn't be able to see him. It's just too dark. You are distracted for a few seconds, and suddenly, there's some change on the counter. What's that in amongst the coins? A small golden fishhook? How strange. Where's this bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye, and dropping tiredly into their seats, there's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels. No, it's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense a strange smell it emits. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposed to drive. In its vicinity, everything is noticeably quieter than at the other bus stops. The people getting on show no sign of emotion. Nobody is trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each two-seater bench is occupied by individuals as they want to make sure no one come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign clearly says Innsmouth. No departure times, no stopovers, just Innsmouth. On the bus. Undecided, you're standing on the stairs of the bus. Show your ticket. You hand the driver the ticket, no reaction. At least you can make out a reaction. The lighting is poor. The lighting, wow. The lighting is poor, and the shadow on his dusty driver's cap covers almost his entire face. You notice something strange on his neck, but you can't quite make out what it might be. You're standing in the door, waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor has increased. A queue has formed behind you, but no one is pushing or complaining. Oh, excuse me. You hastily push past the silent travel group, trusting your gut. This bus, the smell of sulfur. No, thank you. And how? Were those gills on the bus driver's neck? With a beating heart, you let yourself sink into the dusty concrete floor, a clear sense of foreboding. But that alone doesn't mean you can't skip the job. Nevertheless, you must be completely crazy to spend more than 5 minutes in this hellish vehicle. No, thank you, you mumble to yourself. Go back to the board with the departure times. It's maddening. There must be an alternative to this rickety bus. There's no doubt about it. It's actually the only bus that goes to Innsmouth. If you still want to make it to this town on time, there's no way around it. You start to consider dropping the case when you remember the missing girl. The little girl has been missing for a week. What a cruel world this is. Where you are the last hope of a scared mother. You don't even have to take the photo out of your pocket. In your mind, the big green eyes of the little one look at you reproachfully. You have to make it to Innsmouth. You stare helplessly at this old clunker, which only someone with a lot of imagination would describe as a bus. You push your way past. You're back to the steps that lead inside the bus and past the driver. It seems this travel company doesn't take ticket enforcement so seriously. You decide to blend in to this trance-like collective as inconspicuously as possible. Brr. As you pass the driver, a cold shiver runs down your spine. Someone has overdone it with the air conditioning. Does this old clunker even have any air conditioning? You shuffle sideways through the center aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. You're surrounded by shabby two-seater benches, and some are already occupied. One per traveler row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery is torn in some places, though. Or has it been slid open? You can see springs with sharp wire edges, and some sticky liquid seems to have leaked onto the floor. Why didn't you just sit down in one of the free rows here in the back? Almost everything is occupied. Most of the passengers seem to have purposefully sat down in the aisle seats, blocking off the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common Innsmouth visitor. You gaze across the row of seats. Sit down with somebody. As a nonconformist, you join one of the passengers in a double seat, since only one man was so considerate as to sit at the window. Your options are limited anyway. As far as you can tell, the man is a haggard figure with barely any luggage. The hood of the gray jumper pulled far onto this man's face. The man looks out to the street as if something very important is happening there that requires his attention. Is the seat taken? You ask politely. He turns his head and gives you a brief once-over. Without saying a word, he turns away again. Sit down anyway. All right. That wasn't a no either. You sit down and regret it instantly. The smell of sulfur is now overpowered by something else. Something that smells like it's been in the sun for too long. You You're trying to catch a glimpse of what's under the hoodie. Does this person have genetic defect? Is he malnourished? You're not sure exactly where the problem might be, but you're trying to stay professional. Awkwardly stare at the headrest of the person in front of you. This is a chance to get some inside information. Do small talk about me. Alright, play the tourist. You clear your throat before you speak. Twitching, and with a slight tremor, the man turns to you. Excuse me, I'm visiting Innsmouth for the first time. Do you happen to come from there? A twitch is all you get. Maybe you should get right to the point. It's hard to tell if you're boring him. Does Innsmouth have any sights? Your neighbor stares into the middle distance. Is he thinking? The silence between the two of you is hardly unbearable. The beach, he finally stutters. Your eyes meet again. The old town, he adds. Well, that could have gone worse. The small talk has been gruelingly slow, so you decide to let it go. The ride is taking forever. The bus leaves the country road and turns off to a wooden sign that says Innsmouth in red, flaky letters. The journey continues rather bumpily along a narrow dirt road littered with numerous potholes. In the distance, some houses are already visible, seagulls circling the roofs of the outermost edge of the city. Slowly, all passengers take their bags out from under the seats and get ready. Curiously, you look through the front row. You lean to into the aisle and look past the bus driver to the path that still lies before you. The bus rumbles along the street, past the old houses. The road you turn onto is narrow and bumpy. If we were met by oncoming traffic or even just a cyclist, what would the bus driver do, you think? Your group seems to be lucky. No other travelers far and wide. You look around, and it's all rather unexpectedly idyllic. The front door of the bus opens with a squeak, and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus as if in a daze. Almost walking in step, you all get closer to the exit. As you walk down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out, the windows of the bus were tinted. The other passengers shuffle off. Alright guys, we are going to end this one here. If you guys like it, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys have any other recommendations or anything else that you want to see, let me know down there as well. Definitely let me know if you guys like this style of game. I am only going to be playing like I'm not going to try and just beat like the whole game in one sitting, just because reading that much and everything for the game and trying to like since there's not much else going on, I'm going to try and, you know, do like voices and everything like that, which is, you know, making my throat dry and everything, so I can't do that kind of just sitting down for extremely long periods of times. So we're gonna test out the next one, see how many chapters and stuff I can go through. Today is actually just gonna be stopped because I'm kind of strapped for time. But yeah, if you guys like it, definitely leave a like on the video. Let me know that you guys like this kind of stuff. I feel like it's definitely going to get a little creepy. I do like how I chose to decline the case, and it was basically just the end of the game. And it was like, go back because you need the case and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. So already my choices are mattering. Like they definitely matter and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for this one. So yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this stuff, and as always, stay awesome.